we'll just tilt our heads
hey,
this
y'all.
way.
Welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans.
Hi.
I'm Elizabeth.
I'm Carolyn.
And what we were just discussing is that my white streak is real distinguished today.
So my white is just all over. See all this? I know we often have discussions. We often also don't speak English. We have discussions on this podcast about hair because, somehow I always thought when you grew up and became an adult, your hair had settled into its ways.
No.
Boy, was I wrong. I knew it changed color, and sometimes I changed its color. I didn't realize it would change its texture. I didn't realize it would change going from stick straight to curly. And I realize I'm not as curly as some people. Hey, I'm traveling down the road. It may go stick straight again or it may get curly. That's fine. But Elizabeth is a little... I like that.
I like it. It's just funny to me because sometimes you can barely see it. And then there are days like today where it's a big old 2-inch swath. No, it's I'm fine with it. It's just that I prefer it to be
turned and there it was. But
yes.
Then I've got this going here and this going over there.
Yeah,
so
well,
we're good. Anyway, hi everybody.
Hey.
And who are you online?
I said, you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as TooLizz4You, TOOLIZZFORYOU.
And I'm CPREDMOR on Ravelry, and on Instagram I'm posting as Knitting in Our Jeans. And I left my jacket downstairs. Damn. She's going to have to hold this while I go and get my jacket.
I was going to say, do you want me to go and get it?
Or we can show it next week.
We can always show it
next week. We can show it next week. I finished my amber leafy jacket, and it's downstairs, kind of sprawled all over the dining room table because I just weighed it. I have over 1,600 yards of yarn in that coat. I finished it. I made covered buttons or button covers. I have done the button loops. I did find 2 ends in an underarm here when I took it off that need to be woven in. But other than that, everything is done. And I wore it out yesterday. So some of you we met at Knit in Roslyn on Saturday because there was a trunk show.
Do you have that?
Yes, I have that. I always call them pop-ups. That's not true. They're trunk shows from Asylum Fiber. And we got there after having done our volunteer work at St. Stephen's Church for the Christmas holiday fair.
For the fall fair,
as
it is appropriately named.
Yes, but it is an Episcopal church, so I think we're allowed to say Christmas.
Yes, but it's always advertised as the fall fair.
True. So, what were we doing?
Well, you worked the entire time at the Christmas shop. I got pulled away to sit at the knitting booth because I took a minute or two to sit down and put some stitches on my Boxes and Towers blanket. And the woman who was running the show came over and was like, and they needed someone to man the knit objects booth. And I could sit there and knit while manning the knit objects booth.
Although Carol went back, so.
But she wasn't.
Not good.
No.
Anyway.
And which then led to the quilting ladies.
Grabbing her.
Bullying me as only octogenarians can, who have known me my entire life. Like,
totally. Her
I
entire life.
I said this to 2 other people at church today, how they bullied me. And of course I was like, and yes, me, a strong independent woman, got bullied by octogenarians yesterday. And they're like, which ones? And I'm just like, yeah, it was Elsie, Linda, and Nancy Dean. They were like, yeah, I can see that. And I was like, they're just so cute and unassuming.
Right. Not Nancy Dean.
Nancy Dean was seated.
Well, that's true. But she's not unassuming.
No. But she also was really quiet.
She and Sue used to run that
whole thing. I know.
She and Sue used to run every volunteer opportunity at that
I remember.
So I would not say unassuming.
She has become more demure in her later
years.
In her later years.
Yes.
So I had mentioned, and I had mentioned to our former choir member, Elsie, a few times that I would like to, like, work on the quilt. However, the quilt is all done by hand.
Right.
And we all know how I feel about my own hand sewing.
And done during the week.
And it's done during the week, except, so they give the blocks, they send the blocks out to whomever would like to do a block.
Yeah.
And then you can bring it back in, and they put it together, and they hand quilt it,
then the core
during
will
the week.
hand quilt it and put it together.
But it's on, like, a Wednesday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And, can't do that. Which is what, I really wanted to do the quilting part, because that's the part that I'm really, like, kind of intrigued by, because I could put together a top on a, sewing machine.
A quilt.
I know, but it was it's a thing.
It's a quilting bee thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I got it.
It's Elsie and Linda, and
Yes, and it would be fun to do on a Saturday.
But they don't do it on Saturdays.
No, they don't.
So I mentioned this,
I didn't realize it was Wednesday afternoon.
I think it is. You could ask Elsie.
I could.
But she was like, well, you do it by hand, but we do give you enough time, and it's just a running stitch. I have no doubt you can do that. You are a very talented young lady. I'm going,
working it.
She is. And then Linda comes over, and Linda goes, you sew? Why don't you, do a square next year? And I was like, because my hand sewing is not very good. If I could do it on my machine, it'd be a whole nother story. And she goes, I think this is great practice. I think you should just do it. I think we're just going to send you one. I think you're going to do it. And I was like,
oh.
Okay. Mind you, this woman comes up to here on me. I am being cowed and bullied by octogenarians who are probably 8 inches shorter than I am.
At least.
Elsie's
a good foot.
They must have been hell on wheels when they were significantly younger.
Yes.
They've been hell on wheels for the past 30 years I've known them.
Yes.
But I don't want to think about them being my age.
Nancy and Sue.
Oh, Nancy's, I remembered. And Nancy, the best part, Nancy Dean's just sitting there looking at me like,
of course, yeah, you're going to do this. You're going to do this.
With no words. She's just, sitting there like the grand poobah behind her 2 minions. The grand dame who was sent out her 2 little,
orchestrating everything.
Ladies in waiting to be like, yes, you are going to do this. And I'm just like, okay. Mm-hmm. So I got bullied by octogenarians this week.
Rather well.
Yes. I am terrified of screwing it up, but I have no doubt that they will never tell me if I have screwed it up, so it'll be fine.
They'll probably tell you how many stitches to the inch you need. I think the minimum is 10.
Yeah.
If you can get 12 stitches to the inch, that would be nice.
Yeah. So we'll see.
You'll need to work with a thimble.
Yes, I will.
Because if you can do 2 or more running stitches together,
then
it tends to stay in a straight line.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was my thoughts. But so come spring, you get to hear me complain about that or be terrified about this.
They just raffled off their latest quilt, and it is always gorgeous.
The woman who used to sit with Wilda got it. She's older, has kyphosis. She's in Burgundy a lot.
You can...
Yeah, I'll point her out next time. I can't remember her name right now. But lovely older woman won it this year. Mother Lauren tried to hide her disappointment. It was very cute.
I should have put in for the raffle. I didn't this year.
I didn't either.
I have won it in the past.
Yeah.
And
I remember you winning it the year of the fair.
I was downstairs in the children's carnival, and they came running downstairs. I think it was Sue Massengill and or her husband, or both of them came running down the stairs going, you won. And I'm going, won what?
Yeah.
You won the quilt. And I was speechless because they do such a gorgeous job.
They do.
And I still use the quilt. So
yeah,
it is a beautiful and
I took a picture of it. We'll post it to the Instagram.
Okay.
Because it's a beautiful quilt.
It is gorgeous. It is a wonder to behold and something that people really do want to win. So
yes.
Kudos to everybody.
That was our Saturday.
Our shop.
Oh, yes.
had made by 2:30. We had made $250 on tchotchkes.
So in total,
So-
not including expenses,
Yes.
it made about $9K.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So,
I mean, with the empty fair, we used to turn over 14.
yeah.
But, I don't have to run that anymore.
Exactly.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
So then, are we going to go in chronological order in terms of... So what have I finished? What's off my needles is the Amber Leafy coat, which we will show you next week. I didn't bring it upstairs. I apologize. I have decided the sleeves are just fine. In fact, if we show it to you next week, it will have been blocked by next week. I will make sure that I baptize it in the tub and have it blocked so it will be in its final shape. But I'm very pleased with it. It's very warm. As I said, and I showed it off to the ladies who were knitting at Knit, and I got an ovation.
You did.
I was really
You deserved
pleased.
it.
So thank you all for that. And as I said, Asylum Fiber was there, which is why we went. What I'm wearing. I am wearing my Cocoon and my Fond Memories.
Yep.
So, are you wearing something? No,
I'm wearing store-bought cardigan and a store-bought dress that is now covered in all kinds of fluffs. Oh, from the box.
The box.
The box.
Oh, the other thing. Oh, so we'll talk about acquisitions later. So
Yes.
Anyway, we were at Asylum Fiber, and unbeknownst to me, until about 15 minutes before the shop closed, which was at 5 o'clock, I didn't have my phone. Which meant I couldn't look up my Ravelry queue, one.
Without making it an announcement to the entire room, because then she could use my phone.
And then my credit cards are on the back of my phone. So you said something like, Mom, don't you want that yarn?
Because Mom had been looking, because Stephanie brought the Untangled colorway from Indie Untangled, because she made up a lot of it for Indie Untangled. So she has
I hadn't bought it at Indie Untangled because I wanted everybody else to have an opportunity to buy it, because I know that Stephanie lives just down the block from you.
Basically.
Really, within a mile.
Yeah. So, Mom saw it and was like, oh, it's so pretty. And then had been saying that. And so I was like, Mom, why don't you get, and she goes, I don't have my phone. And I was like, okay, and she goes, I can't look at my queue. And I was like, okay. So I looked up her queue and handed her my phone and go, look at your queue. And so she picked out the Varla, right?
Varma, I think. This is Errant Aaron, and the colorway is Untangled 19. Obviously a play on the words of Indie Untangled. The Varma. Is that an M or an N?
It's an M.
All right, so it's the Varma.
But it's not showing up.
That was in... It's on... Did you go to me?
No.
All right, so I have put it in my projects.
Oh, here it is. It is. It's the Varma with an umlaut over the A. So it's this
I can't find
cardigan.
Where I started, but I have started it.
And the reason I had pointed it out to Mom when I saw it on Instagram, because there are fully fashioned shoulder detail. I don't know if you can fully see it in the photo there, but there is the fully fashioned shoulder that brings it to the back of your shoulder. That seam.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll have to look downstairs because
I think it's in the little. Isn't it in the littler bag with the green handles? No, with the green handles.
Oh, it must be.
Because that's where it was coming out of. Because Silas really wanted that one.
Right. So we went visiting Silas.
Yes, we
last
did.
night, and I had it with me, but I have started it. I have just about finished the ribbing. I think I've got about a half an inch to go on the ribbing. I did a gauge swatch, found that I needed to go down a needle size to get the proper gauge on moss stitch. I had the proper gauge if they said to do the gauge on stockinette, but they really had said to do moss stitch, so when I popped over into that, I needed to go down a needle size.
Mm-hmm.
Did that swatch, pulled it out, and started on the Varma, which is a tunic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter this in the make-along that Shamika is running. I think it's an on Instagram thing.
It's Instagram and Ravelry.
Okay. And it's basically use yarn from any festival and make something for Vogue Knitting Live in New York. And I was going to do my boy Lollipop because I had, as you all know, I had bought yarn for that at Perfect Blend. I got it right this time, in Saugerties. But honestly, I'm loving these tunics things. So, is it helping me not eat? No. Wearing pants that have actual buttons and waistbands would be the better thing, but you know.
That's okay.
Anyway, so I decided to make this tunic. I'm really excited about it. I've made some real progress on it. But that's not what I was working on
No,
today.
it isn't.
We have 2 babies arriving in November.
Yes.
And we have 1 baby arriving in January.
We have 2 arriving in January.
That's right. 2 arriving in January. So this is for one of them. This is another baby vertebrae. And I started this yesterday so that I'd have something that I could work on while I was over at Silas's. Actually, we didn't go to visit Silas. We went to visit his mom.
Well, and you didn't even work on that. You worked on the Varma.
No, I worked on this.
Really?
Yes. Yes, I did.
You swatched the Varma and
yes,
started...
and I got some of the Varma done, and then I started working on this. So I have separated for the sleeves, and I have done my first row of bottom ribbing. I do 3 centimeters of bottom ribbing down here, and then I pick up all along the outside edge and do a rib, and that forms whatever you're going to have in the front. Remember, this is an open-fronted baby's cardigan. I'm making size 6 months because I feel that any baby can grow into that size, or they can wear it immediately if they're rather large. And then I will do the ribbing on the sleeves. So I'll finish the ribbing at the bottom tonight, and we'll see how far I get picking up and going around. But I would say by tomorrow night, I should have
one more
this done,
done,
which would be done. So I only need to do 3 more. Not baby vertebrae. I want to do 2 more baby vertebrae and 1 more other sweater. What?
But you've already made
1 for Niesling.
Oh, so this one's for
this one is actually for Mo Lauren. Then I've got this one, and I've got this one. So I've got this, and I've got this for the other 2. And then I've got this, which is under your iPad. For this sweater.
For Niesling?
Yeah. This is going to take some time. So it would be, if I were really a bright woman, I would start this one next. We'll see how bright I am. And then while I was getting this yarn out, which is Holiday Yarn Fingering, it's Flock Sock Fingering, 400 yards. And that should be enough. I'm looking at this. 210 yards. So yeah, I have more than enough.
5 skeins.
Can't imagine why you'd have 1,000 yards in a baby sweater, but we'll investigate this because there's more of that up there.
Okay.
There's a sweater's quantity up there, I believe. Yeah, I can see 2 more immediately. Okay.
All right. Well, you keep talking.
Anyway, when I went to get this out, these fell on my head.
As it does when getting
as
stuff
they
out
do.
of
Now, I'm looking at these, and I notice that these are pretty much the same colors, and this is a slightly different color. So I could alternate this, because then I also found this.
Well, with Noro, you never know what's going to be in the center. See, there's green in there.
Oh, okay. And then I had this kind of at my shoulder. So I think I've got enough for an as-if tee.
What is this? Fingering?
This is fingering. This is 420 meters.
Okay, so yeah, definitely.
I have 3 of them, so I have over 1,200 yards of fingering, and then I've got the mohair.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. Sorry,
I've got to stop taking yarn out of the storage bin over here because it's piling up on my desk something fierce.
Yeah, so yeah, it does take 1,000 yards, Mama.
It does?
Yeah.
All right, well, I see 2 more up there from where I can sit.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just saying because I agree, but I think it's the pleats.
All right, so 400. So
and it's
2
super
more
cabled.
2 more would make 1,200.
Yes.
So I can see the 2 more right there.
All right, let me go grab those for you.
All right, do you see right up there? Second shelf, up there.
I think there are 3.
That's right. I do think there are 3.
Yeah.
I said I could see 2 more. Anyway, I got enough.
Yeah.
I had 1,600 yards.
Yes.
So I could make her that sweater, and then I could use one of them to make the baby vertebrae.
You could.
Yes. And then save some of that other stuff. I don't want to make it for Fiona, because then one would have one sweater and one would have the other. It would look a little strange. But I could use that for Dan's baby.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can use this one for Fiona.
Yeah.
And then we can save the green for something else. I have all kinds of plans. All kinds of plans. And I almost cast on the My Boy Lollipop. I am going to try to do that in fingering. I'm going to do the sweater math to let me exchange or use
fingering
weight instead of DK. I'm still considering this because I have 600 yards. Do you know how much I think it takes about 600 yards of DK.
Mine took 500 and something.
Okay. So I was thinking, even if I wanted to make it a little longer, my yarn is white with navy blue. I could hold it double, and then if I ran short, use some of the grays that I have up there to extend it. So I may do that. But I'm going to make a My Boy Lollipop because I've been talking about it for
since I made mine.
Yes.
Which was June.
Yeah. I was going to say a year, but
no.
You know, June. Time is elastic. So the thing I cast on yesterday, I did work on that thing last night, but I had also started this yesterday.
I just remember you pulling out the provisional and
you're right,
and Stephanie losing her mind.
Yes, she did, because you're pulling it apart. You're right. You're absolutely right. I did work on that, but I had worked on this. I had started this because I wanted to work on that, but then we went to knit. I didn't know I was going to have that before I went to knit.
Okay.
So I had started this in the morning after I had finished my amber leafy coat.
Oh.
So I would have something.
See, I just didn't recall when
to work on. I worked on it at knit too.
I didn't recall you casting it on, so I just didn't know. And we have spent all day together on Saturday.
And you tell me I forget things. It happens.
It does.
That's all I'm saying is it happens.
I never say it doesn't.
So I worked on this at knit.
Yeah.
And then at 4:59 in the afternoon, Elizabeth said, "Oh, you know that credit card account that we share? How about if I let you use that so you can get the yarn?"
No, she goes, "I don't know my credit cards. I can't buy the yarn." And I was like, "Mom, I have the card that the account we share is on." And she goes, "Oh, you do."
That's right.
And of course, our friends are all like,
"What's going on?"
And then I was like, "Oh, it's my emergency card." And they're like, "Yarn emergency card?" And I was like, "Well, for my mother today, yes." So
Because I left my phone at home. It was charging in a different place.
Yeah.
And so when we got up and left, between finishing my Leafy cardigan and the phone being in a different place, I didn't pick it up, put it in my purse. Speaking of which, I bought a new backpack. We'll see if that works well as a purse. That one's not dressy enough, but I think so we're trying on for sizes.
Okay.
And for usability,
and for pockets.
The Coach backpack is too big. It's just too big. It doesn't have pockets.
Yeah.
It has one nice pocket on the inside. The front pocket is too little.
It's great for like Rhinebeck, it's great for the events where you just want to stuff everything in there.
Right.
So you don't lose anything.
So the one that arrived today has a few more pockets. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to clear out the Coach backpack and put it in this one. What I also like about this one is it'll be good for school because the pocket, when you take, they've got a seat pad in it. So in case you find yourself at a baseball game or a football game on a bleacher, there's actually a 1/2-inch piece of foam that covered so you can be comfortable while sitting on a bleacher. So thoughtful. Anyway, that pocket is supposed to be able to fit a computer this size.
Okay.
So I'll be able to use that going to and from school for the rest of the semester, which would be good. So that would be nice to have just my purse and this all in my backpack.
It would be good.
And good. So that was rather good. So that arrived. And what else am I working on? That's about all that I'm working on. I have not started the My Boy Lollipop. As you can tell, we're still kind of thinking through it.
But now Mom has an as-if tee that she wants. In addition to the brioche sweater from the Vogue magazine that we really liked. Yes. That's sitting over there.
Yeah.
We have all of the baby knits. And then, of course, everything behind us. No big deal,
And
right?
the Susan Crawford.
Right.
I should be able to finish that in a week.
Totally. I'll start the teapot.
Okay, let's do it.
We can do this.
We can do that.
We can do this. What are you talking about? Crazy.
All right.
What
do you want to talk about what else came in the mail?
Sure. Well, let me talk about what I've been doing.
Okay, that's a good idea. You better just jump right in.
I know. You're going like gangbusters over here.
I know.
So, I finished 2 things this week that were very close to being finished last week. Well, one we talked about, but it was in the dryer or in the washer. So, I finished my fuss-free baby cardigan. I need to get buttons for it, but it will have buttons on Wednesday when I go to knit because I forgot to bring it with me today or yesterday.
And Wednesday is knit night.
Yes. And then I also finished...
Oh, that's gorgeous.
The Cardizen.
And who is that going to?
Niesling. Both of them are for Niesling. And I just love the little detail of the crocheted reinforcement of the back across the top of the shoulders. It's a lovely pattern.
It's well made.
Yeah, it's really well written. It's really well designed. I could definitely see making a big person one for myself.
Does it come in big person?
It does. It's originally written as a big person pattern. She also then has, if you get a different gauge, you can make it as a small person pattern. But obviously this is not for another year probably that she'll wear this because it's quite large.
But what's nice is they grow.
They grow. So I did finish those. And then, as I was saying, I got decently far in my boxes and towers conversion to a baby blanket.
You did quite well with that.
I know. So, hopefully I'll get, this is about a third of the way. So, hopefully I'll get another 2. I'd like to get it done by next weekend, but we'll see. Because I don't think it's as travelable on the subway as I thought it might be. But I am also working on the Lavanya Petrusali test knit for the baby blanket that she designed that I'm trying to get to a decent spot to.
Hold up. It's really pretty.
It is.
I really like the colors that she's got.
So this is the first color. The gray is a gradient. It's one yarn. I'm not changing colors.
Oh.
The gray is all one yarn. So
okay.
I thought that would give it some
That's a lovely
dimension.
gradient.
Yeah. So, as I've mentioned before, I'm making it out of Karen's Simply Soft, and the, like, Michael's Loops and Threads version of that. It's extremely slick and decently splitty.
That's what I don't like about it.
I don't like it either, but I also, this is, as I said previously, for a coworker who I don't know all that well. Yes, I know. Why am I making a brioche baby blanket for someone I don't know very well?
Because you wanted to do the test knit.
I wanted to do the test knit, and I don't particularly want to get anything off of the registry. And every small person needs a hand knit object.
Of course.
Is how I was raised, and I don't know if her family does hand knit objects. So,
well, and
I feel like the best way to welcome a new small person into the world.
Going to be very washable.
Oh yeah. I'll throw it in the washer and dryer before I gift it. And yeah, but oh darn it, I just found a boo-boo. I don't care. I'm ignoring it because it's a few rows down and I just la. Yes, we're adults, I promise. But yeah, so I think it's really pretty. I am one repeat away from switching colors. So it will go from this yellow to a teal, which I think will be really nice. And I'm really excited. It's working up pretty quickly now that I've gotten past the first, because like the first repeat, you're not quite sure what's happening with the brioche and you can't really see it.
Right.
So now that I can see it, it's working a lot better.
Was this the one you were asking me about, the brioche versus the knit? Or was that your Stephen West?
That was the Stephen West. So I also have finished clue 1 of my Stephen West Starflake.
I wish I wore shawls. He makes such really fascinating
giant, and
shawls.
I'm so excited about this. So for clue 2, you can either do brioche or you can do garter. And I'm not sure what I want to do.
Brioche. It'll just stand out.
I know.
And you do it so nicely.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, so I'm working on all of that. And I also have another test knit that I need to get started, which actually might be what I work on the subway this week because it's a revamp of the epaulette sweater that I have in worsted weight or DK. And this time some fingering. So last week I showed you that I really liked
that sweater too.
Okay. So I showed you that I was going to make it out of, the main color was Mexican hot chocolate, and then the Leading Men Fiber Arts as the epaulette, but then I realized I don't have enough yarn to make this the full epaulette. So I was thinking this will be the main part, and this will be the raised welts.
But do I have the same color?
You might.
Well, then would you have enough?
Possibly.
Okay.
I can look.
Yes.
I would appreciate that. That's very kind. Thank you, Mommy.
Sometimes I am.
You are very often very kind, but when gifting yarn, sometimes you are a bit more stingy.
It's a little tenuous.
I need 85 yards.
So what did they give us?
This is 46. So yes. That'll be about 92.
All right. Where's that bag?
I don't know. We'll find it.
I found it.
Yay!
It's over there.
Okay. Cool. Right, so then I don't have to, because I was going to say I could do the raised, because I'm going to do the welted ones like I have on the one that in worsted.
I like that.
So I was going to say do the raised parts in this with the background in that, but if I can do it all in the Leading Man Fiber Arts,
that'd be great.
Better. Thanks, Mom.
Well, that means if you have any Leading Men Fiber Arts that you have at home.
I don't have any Leading Men Fiber Arts at home.
Oh, well,
But
you'll have to get me some next year at Indy.
That's fine. We can work that out.
Yes. If you wonder what I'm doing, I am doing this knit one, purl one, and as I'm going across, I don't know whether any of you find this when you're starting ribbing, but somewhere in my first row of ribbing, I'll do 2 knits and then a purl one, and I hit that.
I do that.
A minute ago. Luckily, it was here, and I'm going this way, so I'm just going through and changing all the ones rather than ripping out and going back that way. I'm just changing it as I come to them. so that I will have the proper knit one, purl ones going across. Not that I think that the baby's going to notice, nor would I think that Mother Lauren would actually notice, but I would notice.
And that would bug you.
It would bug me.
Yep.
That's right. So I have 10 more stitches and I will have fixed all of this. Now, did you buy anything? You didn't buy anything at the...
I did, but actually it's downstairs. I bought a wand. Because I do not have a Harry Potter wand yet. So I bought
that
one.
You didn't buy it at Knit. You bought that
at the
fair.
I bought that at the fair. Sorry.
But
I did not buy anything at Knit because I am trying currently to...
Behave yourself?
Behave myself because I have 8 small people to knit for.
Right. And what's nice is most...
I have a list.
That's good.
I wrote it up all pretty and like in pretty pens and everything at work. So it's up, so I have 2 computer screens, like monitors. And so in between them, I have things like stuck to my wall in between them. One of them now is my small person's knit list. So I figure once I finish these 2 blankets, I can cast on something for myself.
That's a good idea.
Because it was very hard.
Are you going to try to do something for Vogue Knitting?
I'm thinking I will. I would like to. Well, this is... The epaulette sweater will probably be done by then.
That'll be good.
But I'm also thinking I want to knit
and the Leading in 5 Arts we got at a festival.
Yes. But I'm also thinking I might do something out of yarn I got at one of like the first years we went to something. So I don't know yet. I have to think about it. But also,
obviously there's little or no thinking on my part.
Ashby and...
Oh, we saw Ashby yesterday.
Yes, so Ashby and Stephanie brought it to my attention that Long Island Yarn Crawl now counts as or yarn crawls in general count as festivals for acquiring said yarn and patterns. So I have that Hampton Yarns, the Yak, to make that Hohi pattern.
Mm-hmm.
It's knit side to side, but it's really pretty and it's boyfriend friendly, so I might do that one.
That's a plus.
Yeah, but it's fingering weight. So we're going to see how quickly I can get these 2 blankets done, and then we'll assess. Because I have these 2 blankets. I have another... I'm going to do a Vertices Unite by Stephen West for another one of the small people who is entering the world soon. Because it's such a funky pattern. I want to make it for someone. And actually, it's going to be for Stephanie and her new little one. And I ran the pattern by her. Well, and she already knew.
Oh, okay.
I texted her being like, if I made you this blanket, would that be okay? Right. And then I checked the colors with her last night.
Oh, sorry. I missed that.
Yeah. So she already knows. Because it's such a funky pattern. And she already has baby blankets because this is her 2nd kid. And I was like, why not just give her something fun? And all else fails, she can throw it on the floor and use it as a play mat, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's going to be kind of rainbowy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm not going to make that out of anything, too special. That's going to probably be out of, Loops and Threads Impeccable, which is the DK Aran kind of weight yarn that they have out now, which I'm making the boxes and towers out of, so it's not a bad yarn to work with. It's a bit more toothsome, and it feels more woolly versus this, which is
slick.
So I'm thinking about doing that. So I think I want to get that done, and then I can start thinking about more sweaters for me, because I don't think I'm knitting blankets for anyone else. I think everything else is a baby sweater, which I typically can knock out in about a week.
Well,
so,
baby vertebrae you can do in
a weekend, yeah. But
we have been watching Netflix.
Netflix.
I'll be all right. Netscape was a internet browser.
Yeah.
Netflix. We've been watching designs, home design.
The great interior design show.
Yes. So we have been on a
interior design kick.
Yeah, well, because I find it fun to look at what other people are doing with houses, and I keep looking at my furniture going, I could make a
We could do that.
We could recover that sofa.
Yeah.
I certainly could cover the cushions.
Yeah, we could.
I'm thinking a deep navy blue with, like, sea animals on it.
Okay.
You know, like in white. The sea animals
kind
in
of
white.
like what we just saw.
But they had starry nights.
No. They had, like, spores and leaves and...
Right, I want to do, like
boats and starfish and sand dollars.
Sand dollars, and so I don't want boats, but I want...
But, like, that kind of... Yes.
Yes. Because I painted the living room to look like a Caribbean inlet.
I bet we could also recover that cat. I bet we could do it.
You and I could recover the couch. I bet we could, too, especially if we get those snaps that would hold the fabric. Like she was using tonight.
We could do it.
So anyway,
and I have PTO days to burn.
Okay.
In the next 2 months.
Great. And then I look at my cabinetry.
Oh, yes.
Which is not mine. It was left over from my mother-in-law. And I'd love to make that like ebony black is what I'd like to do. But
we can look up what ebon... Because there's a technique called
ebonizing?
Yes.
All right.
We could look that up.
Because that would be very cool, and that would be more of what I wanted, trying to do clean surfaces. I think I'm going to get rid of some of the stuff that's on top of my cabinet. Of course, I should have done this before the Christmas fair. Oh, well. I guess I could take all the stuff down and put in the basement.
Yeah.
And...
Wait for next year. Or
I could take it to the consignment shop and see what they want. I'm thinking of getting rid of the teacups out of my good china set. Because who drinks out of a teacup anymore? There's like nothing in a teacup. We drink out of mugs. And in fact, my tea mug is 30 ounces. I mean, if you're going to have a cup of tea, let's have a cup of tea.
My teacups at work my tea mug at work is a 20 ouncer.
All right, but these little tiny teacups. And, you know, they're hung on hooks in that china cabinet, and you try to reach in for something, and next thing you know, one's falling down.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of stuff in that china cabinet I just don't use, so I'm thinking of getting rid of it.
Then let's go through and let's look
put it in a box that goes downstairs.
Or we talk to Sue and see what the 50/50 shop will take.
Sounds like a plan. I mean, that stuff was really important to me at one time. And at one time, I did make tea in those things. And we would have, you know, tea and coffee in those. And it's just like insane. Now we have mugs. We have more than enough mugs. And that'll be great.
Yeah.
So, are you done? Should I talk about my other acquisitions?
I think I have completed what I have been working on this week. Yes.
Okay. Nothing off your needles. We talked about
what's off my needles.
Okay, so one of my advent calendars has come, and this is the one about suicide prevention.
The Project Semicolon.
Right.
One.
So we have now put it in numerical order. And this is because one of the designers, her husband, succumbed to suicide. And I felt that it was, you know, suicide prevention was a cause that I certainly wanted to support. I think all of us have had days where it was really difficult to trudge through, and it was difficult to see how it was going to get better. I'm lucky. Somehow it always has. And I tend to look at the bright side of things. You know, speaking of which, I have an appointment with the knee surgeon in February, and they say that they can schedule surgery for 6 to 8 weeks later, which means I could be having my knee replaced in April, and I'll be back sailing by June. Score! So,
and you also have a guide to go if you feel you need a second opinion.
But I think we'll be fine. So anyway, having unpacked that Advent wreath, we found some things that just said, thank you. And you can tell from the way those things are wrapped, they came from all the different designers that she talked about. So she said 31 different designers had gotten together to support.
So what Mom
suicide.
is saying is she doesn't want to wait until the 25th to open up the 2 extra packages. She wants to open them early.
Well, they don't have a date on it.
They don't have a date, but one would suspect you would open it at the end.
No.
You all saw that look she just gave me, right? Okay.
All right, there's 2 things in here.
Oh.
Both say thank you. There's 3 things in here.
Oh, goodness.
So this is how we get 31 designers doing a 25-day advent calendar.
Something smells good.
Something does smell good. This is awfully good. What is this?
Ooh.
This is lip balm, cinnamon hot chocolate,
Hand balm from Tuft. Lovely.
and lip balm and cinnamon hot chocolate. Yes, yes.
And actually, the Tuft stuff typically doesn't irritate us because they're very well made.
It
is a good scent.
All right. So, yes, I'm very happy to have donated for that. Okay. Here's a second bag.
Yes, typically one would wait until the end to open these.
I'm not going to be home for this.
Yeah, okay.
All right. This is Woolen and Company. This is
Wool Wash.
Wool Wash in mulled cider.
Oh.
There's coconut, olive, lanolin, castor, avocado butter, mango butter, shea butter, fragrance, and mica oxide colorants. What in God's name?
Oh, it's a bar. Oh.
Look at that. Indulge both your skin and wool garments in our creamy lanolin-infused wool wash. I could wash my sweater in that.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, excellent. See, there's a reason not to
yes.
wait.
Okay.
The third one. And I wouldn't be able to share it with them. We're going to be at Nanny's house. It didn't have a date on it. I'm going with that.
Trinkles.
Trinkles.
It's a mini tool. It's a gauge ruler.
Yeah.
1-inch gauge ruler.
Yeah. Very cool. And it's great for figuring out your ribbing when they're doing it in centimeters.
Perfect.
See, there's all kinds of reasons why I'm opening this early. And then there's this big box, which I'm also going to open, if I can figure out how. Yes, the suspense is killing us here. Let's get a scissors. Okay. So, oh my goodness. Small batch hand-poured soy wax candles.
Yeah, from Woolen Wax.
This is called Tannenbaum. I can have a soy candle.
Ooh.
We may not light it, but it smells really good.
Yeah.
So, this is how they get 31 people doing a 25-day advent calendar. So for those of you who have
2, 3, 4,
have signed up for this, if you haven't gotten it, you should be getting it very shortly. And enjoy, because I think that we can be happy that we supported something like that. Do you have anything else going on?
I don't think so. I'm trying to be as monogamous as I can. I'm
having a problem with it.
Yeah,
You know why? Because I finished that cardigan that I was really monogamous on, and I'm breaking loose.
You really are. You
Breaking
really
loose.
are.
And I've been working on a lot of whips.
Yes.
And, every once in a while you want to cast on something new.
Yes, I do. I know.
And I'm throwing yarn all over my desk.
It's pretty great.
Obviously, I'm dying to cast on new things. And then people are talking about patterns. I'm like, excuse me, and I'm buying other yarn for that. It's just crazy around here. So, we can't wait to talk to you next week to see what we've managed to accomplish instead of just casting madly everything on. We'll see if I've managed not to cast on the My Boy Lollipop and managed to finish maybe another baby sweater. So if I can do 2 baby sweaters, that would be good.
Then you'd have the January babies covered.
I'd have the January babies covered.
Because you've already made things for the November babies. You just want to make more for the November babies.
Hold on. No, both November babies have something, but they don't have their new baby present. They've had their baby shower present.
Do you hear the words that are coming out of your mouth?
Yes.
Okay.
There's baby shower presents and then there's arrival presents.
Oh, okay. See, I'm giving my arrival presents early because...
No, this is an arrival present. That would be an arrival present. This would be an arrival present.
I was not aware that we give both baby shower and arrival gifts.
Of course we do.
I mean, I was just giving hand-knit objects.
These are arrival presents. So,
Well done. You have entered the world. Congratulations.
Yes. So, I should make either this or that. This could be done in 3 days.
Yes, she is due a week earlier than she is.
Yeah, I know, but it would be nice to have 3 done and be only working on the 4th.
You could. I
think I'll do that. So I may try to knock out 3 baby vertebrae in a week. Let's see if I can do it.
I love the crazed laugh that occurs. That's my favorite part of all of this.
And I think I'm going to send a text to Jill of Big Apple Knitting Guild to tell her about the first weekend in October.
Yes, that sounds like a good idea.
And saying, oh, by the way, we're knitting on our jeans, and you might want to look at that before you make sure that you accept this offer.
Just maybe. Just maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. So
that's
I've got 2 baby blankets, and maybe I'll have a sweater. I'll probably actually have the epaulettes at least cast on because I think those will be good for subway knitting. Because then I won't worry about hitting people with blanket, length.
And I'm going to, before I leave this room, maybe what I'll do is I will...
You want me to wind that?
Yeah, that'd be great. If you won't, I will.
Yeah, well, I have to wind the leading men.
Up, and I'll get the leading men out, and we'll be good.
Yeah.
So we'll see you all next week. Can't wait.
Bye.